Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime! Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again, it's MRN's Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are glad you joined us here on the Motor Racing Network. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad you joined us. Coming up on the program, we're going to talk a lot about Pennsylvania because the World of Outlaw Craftsman sprint cars roll in there for the National Open. We're going to talk to the most recent winner in Pennsylvania, Don Kreitz Jr., the team owner for Lance DeWeese. They picked up the win at the Dirt Classic on Saturday night at Lincoln Speedway. And the most recent winner with the World of Outlaws, David Gravel, who's a former National Open champ. So we're going to do that as well, and a whole lot more. Alongside is Erin Evernham. How are you? Everything well in your world?
Yeah, I'm not as good as you, though. I mean, you got to go to Pennsylvania this weekend.
I know. Pennsylvania was on fire. I mean,
so envious.
it was just the atmosphere, the racing was great. Susquehanna on Thursday night.
Yep.
The Williams Grove on Friday night, and Saturday night was Lincoln. And just the racing was phenomenal. The atmosphere, the crowds were good. Everybody was having a good time. It's just a really good spot. Just the sport's in a really good spot and just a lot of fun. Lots of people, I think this is a thing, and I didn't really want to wander down this aisle, but we're in an area right now, in a time in professional sports where everyone is talking about everything but the action on the field
stuff.
or the action on the track. NASCAR off-track stories seem to headline it. I think that's the one thing that struck me at Susquehanna, at Williams Grove, and at Lincoln. On track was what people were talking about, the on-track racing, and I think sprint car racing is really good then.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing before the show. We were chatting about the good state, or the healthy state of sprint car racing, and my thought was we have all these other forms of professional sports that are just in not a negative light right now.
Absolutely.
And it's just refreshing. It's awesome to see our sport in such a good spot.
I think that's why it was such a great weekend, because it was a refreshing weekend. It's a breath of fresh air to go up there and just have fun, kick back, have a few beers after the race. Everyone's enjoying racing. And racing was great on the racetrack. That takes us to the classic ink, screen printing, and embroidery hot topics. What's hot in the world of sprint car racing? He's still winning. Sammy Swindell won twice this past weekend.
It is so cool to see Sammy at his age just
wear him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a little bit of a break. I understand he got a break on Friday night when Wayne spun on the last lap, but you're running second.
Win's a win.
55, 65 cars, something like that. He's still winning. Sammy Swindell won 2 nights of the McMillan Hockett Memorial Race at Lucas Oil Speedway. It was a good week for the Sams. The Sam Hafertepe Jr. won the big night on Saturday. Again, still winning. He doesn't use the hashtag, but Brooke Tatnell. Anytime Brooke Tatnell wins a race, I smile.
Me too. I saw that on social media, and I was really happy for him. Brooke was a huge help to me when I was racing, and just a great family, great person.
Great person, no doubt about it. He won the IRA Mower race at LaSalle on Sunday night. Out west, Corey Eliason, man, this kid is on fire out there. He swept the NorCal Posse Shootout. Erin, $11,300 in 2 nights of racing out of Placerville.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
That is great.
The young talent is unreal out there in California. And what I think, in wrapping up Central Pennsylvania, what I found interesting about it, Susquehanna, Lincoln, and Williams Grove, your 3 winners, Danny Dietrich, Greg Hodnett, and Lance DeWeese. That really is pretty stout.
It's very stout.
Very stout there. I think you throw Freddie Raymer into the mix at Williams Grove. He's the point leader there. I mean, I know Brock Zierfoss is coming along really well, but when we think about Pennsylvania 410 sprint car racing, you don't go too far down anyone's list without Dietrich, Hodnett,
Those 3
and DeWeese.
names,
Exactly, and they all 3 won, and they're all 3 feeling good coming into this big weekend. Yes, indeed. So going to be great. It is. That is it. Your classic ink, screen printing, and embroidery hot topics. Great T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, towels, hats, and more. Find out why drivers like Brian Brown. Oh, by the way, Brownie is selling a few T-shirts in Pennsylvania because they're classic ink. Well, because Pennsylvania fans buy T-shirts, but they are classic ink T-shirts. and they do a great job. Donnie Schatz, Danny Dietrich, Brady Bacon, Danny Lasowski, and more. They choose Classic Ink. You can too. www.classicinkusa.com. classicinkusa.com. Let's step away. The owner of the team that scored the big win at Lincoln on Saturday night, Don Kreitz Jr., joins us next.
Only the best go free abreast, and they're coming to a track near you in 2017. No matter where you're at, the American Sprint Car Series is near you. From the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, presented by the Mad TV Motorsports Network, to any of the 7 ASCS Regional Tours, there's over 150 nights of racing to choose from in 2017. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Listen live on RacingBoys.com and get the full rundown at ASCSRacing.com.
O'Reilly. When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, this is Dylan Hart Jr., and I know the importance of communication. So when it came to selecting equipment for my team, I chose Racing Electronics.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will win.
Oh, yeah! And so should you. With Racing Electronics, you can listen to all the raw, unfiltered, heat-of-the-moment communication between drivers and the crews.
I love you, man. Thank
enhancing your experience.
Unbelievable!
Putting you right in the middle of the action. Go to racingelectronics.com to rent a scanner or FanVision, or see Racing Electronics and FanVision trackside at every NASCAR race.
Hi, I'm Kerry Madsen, and you're listening to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Kerry. Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. And a big, big weekend in Pennsylvania. Really, a big month in Pennsylvania. Central Pennsylvania has been on fire. And when it comes time for the big checks on the line so far, they've all gone to that 69K car. Driver is Lance DeWeese, but team owner, Hall of Famer Don Kreitz Jr. joins us on the line. Hello, Donnie. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, you guys. It's nice to be on again.
Great to chat with you. Great to hear from you again. I guess first off, just congratulations on the win. I know Lance wished he had a little bit faster race car, but cashing a big check and standing in victory lane's not bad. Congratulations on that win Saturday night.
Thank you. It was so cool. You know, the whole team and myself showed a little bit of emotion there because in racing. And we were talking about this last night in the shop, and I was telling the guys, it's the wins, the races that you win, that you're, 90% sure, or that you don't think you have a chance in hell of winning. If you win those races, you really remember them, and they're really, they're really neat.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Donnie, on all the success recently.
Thank you.
What is it about Lance that just seems to fit so well with your team? And what qualities? I know we've talked about this before as a driver. You've said how he was a little bit different of a driver than you are. But what makes Lance so good behind the wheel and so confident in himself?
What makes Lance always, and listen, Lance and myself, we never went out to dinner. We never went and had a drink. I never really talked to him besides, a word here or there. And I'm not really one that talks to any competitors though in the pits, but we never really talked. So I don't really, but you could tell Lance was always a confident guy. He was someone that always had confidence in his, in his own abilities. He was just a very confident driver like that. And he should be because, like I've said before, Lance is a rare talent. There's guys, I was someone that had to work at it. Fred Raymer told me he was someone that had to work at it. To me, Lance is a guy could sit in the truck and now Lance doesn't drink or smoke or do anything, but he could sit in the truck, smoke a pack of cigarettes, drink a couple beers, and come out and get you a top 5 easy. It's just that Lance is just a talent, and the main thing that I think carries him, like in our car, and most of the time, we really try and pride ourselves to give him the best car we can and try and make it easy for him. Lance is a great bad car driver. If the car's off a little bit, or even if it's off in the beginning, but it's going to come in later, let's just say, he can hold the position or sometimes even advance it a little with a bad car. And then when the car does come in, now all of a sudden he really looks great. He's just a great bad car driver and certainly a very good car driver.
That's fascinating. But it's so true because you're not going to have a winning piece every time you go on the racetrack. But don't kill yourself when you're not that good. Especially,
it's easy to overdrive a bad car.
It's easy to trash a bad race car,
yes.
And maybe later in the race it's going to be the best race car. That is fascinating stuff. It really is, Don. As we look forward now, you talk about Lance's confidence. You've got that World of Outlaw group rolling in. You've got all kinds of races, 4 feature events. What did I see? $90,000 on the line. How are you feeling going into this weekend at Williams Grove?
Davey and myself are the total opposite of Lance. We are always nervous. We are always worried. Lance he just never is, and he's the one that has to pick us up at the track. Guys, it'll be fine. He'll say, and me and Davey are the opposite. We only have 2 engines. Both of them have a lot of laps on going. We're worried. We're worried about the engines. We're worried about typically in the fall at Williams Grove, the track is fast. It's wet. It's not like it is during the summer. You need a lot of motor usually, and with the current Outlaw format, time trials is everything. Time trials, you usually, not unless the track's real slow in time trials, normally you need a lot of motor in time trials, and so we're a little bit worried that way in one sense, but in another sense, honestly, we're really carefree and nonchalant. We've been fortunate enough to win two very big races in the last few weeks. I'd be happy to sit out, but these guys want to run. I'm happy to sit on our laurels and not even have to worry about it. But we have to go. We're going to give Lance the best car we can. I'm confident in the team. I'm confident in Davey. I'm confident in Lance and all our guys. We should be able to have a decent run in all 4 features. I'm looking for 4 top 10s. That would make me happy with no trouble. And if we put ourselves in good position or we hit it just right and the track turns our way, we should at least have a shot at something. But everything, there's just too many variables to say, man, we should easily be able to run, top 5 or top 3. Them guys are good. We have to run against top guys every weekend, and then when the Outlaws come in, that is just more than quadrupled, the amount of good cars you have to run against. So it'll be tough, but it's going to be fun.
Don, after these 2 huge wins that you've had at Port Royal and then Lincoln, both times Lance in his Victory Lane interview has mentioned something about not having the best car, that, basically there's still room to work on, which is hard to believe when someone's in Victory Lane. However, obviously there's something that he's still looking for in the car. What is it that he still needs, or there's some part that you're still missing?
Well, I got to think back now. I don't remember. I think he said that in the Friday night Port Royal show.
Yeah.
And the track, it rained 3 times during the night. It just took a lot of motor, and we didn't have near the motor, that Brian Brown had, who was the fastest car that whole entire night. And Davey estimated to me, took me aside and said, look, we're probably down 60, 70 horsepower to him tonight. He said, this is going to really be tough. And the track was wetter. It wasn't as slick. And for the fans out there that don't know it, when the track does get slick, it basically takes the motor out of the equation. It's pretty much just down to handling, and just the opposite of that. When the track's wet, it really puts the emphasis on who has the best motor at the track, and it's less about handling. So that was a big struggle for us that night. We just hung in there. Lance's experience at the track, got Brian Brown in lap traffic, and the track did change. It wasn't slick, but it changed some towards halfway through the race on, and it did kind of help us, and we set up for the last half. Now the Tuscarora 50, Lance, and I told him this after the feature when we were loading up and there wasn't any people around anymore. The car was good that night. The car was good in the Tuscarora 50. We did, I don't know if we could have got it better or not, but the car was good that night. And Lance, and I know he probably had some left in the tank. He could have went faster, and we were worried about tires that night. And I told Lance, watching the race live, I told him he ran a perfect race. I said 50 laps. I didn't see a corner he missed, a mistake he made in lap traffic. I didn't see one thing, because I will critique him, and he knows that, and he welcomes it. And I just didn't see a mistake in 50 laps, but I said, just hold on. I'm going to have to watch a replay, and I'll get back to you on that. But, and the same thing at Lincoln on Saturday. We did not have the best car, and I'm estimating a 5th or 6th place car. Lance drove a perfect race. Wow. His expertise, his preciseness in traffic and making the right move at the right time got us to the lead. And saying that, though, he was in the shop last night, and we talked about it. The one thing we did have is, as the race went on, for some reason, and the track did change, we started out way too loose, not on purpose. It was just a mistake. We started out way too loose, but as the track got slicker, we didn't seem to get any worse, where the guys that were a lot better than us early, for some reason, jumped over us the wrong way and got the track getting slicker, really slowed them down a lot more than us, even though we started out looser than them. And Lance says, since he's driven a car, that's always been a tendency of the car. It really hung in there really well during the features and not changed that much. So he just did an incredible job in both them big wins.
Great situation to be in, that's for sure. We can't wait to follow along. Donna, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Good to see you race in person up there this weekend, and great to chat with you. Thanks for the time here today on Wing Nation.
All right, thanks a lot.
There we go. Don Kreitz Jr. joining us there on the program. He's a great bad car driver. I love that. I really do. Let's step away. A great driver no matter what they put under him is David Gravel, and he joins us next.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Find Wing Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. We are glad you joined us. Having a great time here. Thanks so much for the time. Let's go right back to the hotline. Joining us now, he drives for the CJB Racing Team. It is David Gravel time on the show. Hello, David. Welcome back to the show.
How you doing, Steve? Thanks for having me.
I am doing fantastic. Congratulations on the win at Lernerville. It's got to be great to ride a little momentum into what is coming up, a very huge week for you guys.
For sure. Actually, the past month or so has been a little bit of a struggle, but to have a top 5 at Eldora and win at Lernerville is great going in the Williams Grove, where we've run really well all year. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
David, you mentioned the last month or so being a struggle. How nice has it been for you to come back on the East Coast, get a little bit closer to your shop, closer to home, and obviously get back to Victory Lane?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's great. We're getting close to the home stretch of the season to be over with, and we're all close to home, get to go home. So those are all positive things also. But, Lernerville ended up getting slick by the end of the night, and just more of our cup of tea and what we've been good at. And like I said, Williams Grove, we've been at really well this year, and there's a lot of money on the line, and we start up front in the makeup race also, so definitely looking forward to it.
No doubt. Boy, that'd be a great way to kick things off. $20,000 on the line right before you even get started. That's 20 grand on the line before the National Open starts. That's crazy. That really is. David, when your team is based over there, CJB Racing is based over in central Pennsylvania as well. It's got to be nice for Barry and the group, and for you get to be around Chad and John and everybody there. That's got to be nice for you guys as well, to have a little home cooking, if you will, off from the racetrack.
For sure. It's really easy for the guys. They're literally, 20 minutes from Williams Grove. So mostly everybody's from Pennsylvania, so they get to sleep in their own beds and get to work out of our, nice shop that, Barry has. And it's definitely more relaxed. Obviously, Williams Grove comes with pressure, but if we do our jobs, we'll do just fine. But it's good to have everybody around. Chad runs his business and is very busy, so he can't go to many races. So, he'll be at all the Pennsylvania shows. So it's definitely good to have him, watch what he spends a lot of his money on.
David, you going back to a little bit earlier in the conversation, you said that the last month has been a struggle. Obviously, you found victory lane at Lernerville. You said Lernerville and Williams Grove are more your style tracks. What has been so difficult over the last month? What have you been struggling with?
It seems like we hit like 3-4 tracks in a row that were extremely wet and heavy and greasy to start out the nights, and just something that we've kind of not have a handle on this year. Anytime tracks kind of like that, typically are bad nights. I don't think there's ever been one night when it's slick that we actually run bad. So it's just one of those things. Every team has a little bit of a weak point, and you got to improve on your weak points. So that's something that we got to focus on for the future and definitely try to get better on, so we could contend with Donnie night in and night out. He struggled also at Chico, but was able to pull out of the hole, both nights where we were only able to do that one night. So it's one of those things. It's a learning experience for everybody. We're still only on second year together, so we're not going to be great every single night, and we just got to focus on making our bad nights better.
Indeed, that's definitely the case. There's a lot of racing going on, and you're not going to come out like Jack the Bear every night, that's for sure. David, you mentioned getting home. Are you in Connecticut now? Did you get a chance? Will you get a chance afterward, or when you're talking home, you're talking Pennsylvania, or are you getting a chance to be in Connecticut?
I'm actually in Connecticut today. I drove home last night, and we have an appearance at Bass Pro Shops on Wednesday, so I got to head up there tomorrow. So pretty much home for 2 nights, about a day and a half, and back to Williams Grove. But the following weekend, we only race Fulton, I believe, on Saturday. So I'll have some time to spend at home next week. So it's back to work here shortly.
Were you selling tree stands at Bass Pro Shop? Is that what you're looking for?
We'll see. Carrie and I will be there with both of our trucks and trailers. So hopefully it's a good turnout. And we've done a couple this year, and some of them weren't the bigger locations, but I know the Bass Pro in Pennsylvania is pretty big. So we'll see. Maybe I'll put my salesman shirt on and see what we could do.
That's awesome. David, how much family and friends get to come to some of these races? Obviously the World of Outlaws don't come too close to Connecticut, but Pennsylvania and New York are about as good as it gets. Will you have a lot of fans and family there?
I'm going to have some in Pennsylvania. There's New Egypt's the closest track we raced at. I think we brought like 50 or 60 people on like a big party bus this year. But it's tough for lots of people. My parents go to as many races as they can, and then lots of other people, they just have their own lives going on. So I'm saying 15 people probably go to Williams Grove that are pretty close to me. So that's pretty good. And some New York stuff people will go to, but it used to be Lebanon Valley and Middletown were extremely close, and a lot of people who go to those places. But it just makes it a little harder, because when it's over like 4 hours, you don't really want to drive home after that. You want to stay over. makes it a little bit more difficult. But we definitely have people coming from Connecticut and support me, though.
Going to be fun, that's for sure. David, as always, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on that win Saturday night at Lernerville, and who knows, maybe we'll be talking to you next week after some kind of victories along the way. Lots of racing at Williams Grove. Best of fortune this week at Williams Grove.
Yeah, I hope so. I make lots of fans every time I go to Williams Grove, so I'm looking forward to making some more and hopefully getting some good runs.
Well, there was one night a few years ago you didn't make a lot of fans, David. Come on.
I was highly sarcastic there.
I sensed the sarcasm, but I wanted to make sure we clarified that. You know?
Oh, that's awesome.
It's all right. That's great. It's great because running up front and winning races is what they pay you to do. Congratulations again on the success, and we'll talk to you down the road.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
There we go. The sarcastic David Gravel. How about that?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? Love that kid. I'm telling you what, there is a wheelman right there. Future of the sport is in good hands with kids like Gravel. Let's step away. More in just a moment.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum's newest feature exhibit is our Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell, June 9th through October 15th, at the only museum in the world solely dedicated to sprint car racing, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Stop in and check out 8 of Sammy's original race cars and see his trophies, uniforms, and more as you learn about his outstanding career. The Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell is only this season at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew crewwear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink, at the track and on your back.
O'Reilly.
Need auto parts? Get them with a click at the new O'ReillyAuto.com. Shop online and we'll ship the order to your home, or you can pick it up for free at the O'Reilly Auto Parts store nearest you. The choice is yours. Shop the way that's convenient for you and get the exact parts you need to get the job done right. O'ReillyAuto.com. Parts for your car wherever you are.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon, and now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Let's talk a little bit about the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum birthday calendar. Tomorrow would have been the birthday of Maynard Clark. Okay, Thursday, we talked about this guy earlier, Brooke Tatnall's birthday. How about that? Bob Carey. Yes, indeed. Cecil Green's birthday on Saturday, but Maynard Hungry Clark birthday would have been tomorrow. Lived a long and healthy life. He was a 2002 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. He was a motorcycle exhibitionist. Did all of the motorcycle stunts, and in 1926 he bought a sprint car and started doing the fairground circuit. So he would go from the Iowa State Fairgrounds to Hamburg, New York, to the Indianapolis State's Fairground, all over the place running his sprint car. Had a lot of success. At one time, one of his chief rivals was a guy named John Gerber, and they actually would travel the country together, staying in tents.
That's cool.
At the track. In fact, people even called them the old rubes. They called them, they sometimes would even dress in bib overalls, playing the part and everything.
That's neat.
Later, John's wife got pregnant, okay? And he said, when we have a baby, I'm going to give up driving. He gave up driving and became the mechanic for Maynard Clark. Maynard was in an injury, was injured, leg injuries, and retired from the sport in 1936, lived to 1991, loved sprint car racing until his death, and he is enshrined at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
Those are such neat stories.
I just love we get to tell those stories, and I appreciate our friends at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, Bob Baker and everyone out there for letting us tell those stories. All right, big week coming up, obviously, in Pennsylvania. Coming up on our podcast Thursday, Jeremy Elliott. And we're going to California with our show on Saturday morning on MAV TV, Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Bud Kading.
Yeah, and Bud's always a great interview.
Bud is always a great interview. Absolutely great stuff. So good fun. Great time. Lots of stuff going on in Pennsylvania. Want to mention the National Sprint Car National Open Benefit Auction on Thursday out there. Colton Gauss does a great job with that. So make sure you support that. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
You've been listening to Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength.
You can also find Winged Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.